Okay, welcome to our 20th episode of Incidental Dog / Buried Cinema. This week we are reviewing Harry Potter.
I'm Steve Moore.
I'm Tom Caper. I'm Alvin.
And I'm Nate Griffiths. Alvin doesn't have a last name, so don't worry about it. It's not a big deal.
Like Madonna.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly like Madonna.
Just a little star, just Alvin. This week we're reviewing Harry Potter.
And that's the gist of the movie, but we're going to get right into it. And I'm going to turn to Tom for our opening review.
All right. Well, I'm going to preface what I'm about to say by saying that I did enjoy this movie. It was an enjoyable movie. What?
I'm just waiting.
I
don't like that opening.
Whenever you have to qualify something,
Yeah,
it's like
you know it's going to be negative.
I want to tell you that you look really pretty tonight.
But you're a horrible human being.
Yeah.
No, like it was enjoyable to watch. I was emotionally invested. Special effects were good. Here's my thing. I felt like the characters that were already established. This is a good movie for character development for the characters that had already been established previously in the series. In terms of plot development, I didn't like it because I felt like this was the first Harry Potter film where I felt like it wasn't its own movie. It felt just like a stepping stone to get to the end.
Like, Half-Blood Prince felt like the beginning of the end. Like, you were talking about the trilogy, and aspects of the middle trilogy or something.
This film is definitely not a children's film. This has definitely, I mean, I think Half-Blood Prince, and in some ways Order of the Phoenix, definitely pushed it beyond that.
Yep.
But this one really pushed it into the mature realm. But it's still, David Yates as a director has shown an amazing, almost incomprehensible ability to mix drama and comedy that I haven't seen. I also give credit to the actors and the screenwriters because it's fantastic. One moment there can be the most serious thing happening and I'm glued, and then they can make a joke about it.
Oh.
You know, Ron gives that wonderful speech about which could be really cheesy. But Rupert Grint pulled it off about why he came back and how the light like drew him into Hermione. Yeah. And then they're sitting Hermione, and then they're sitting on the bed, and he says, "Is she always gonna be mad at me?" And he's like, "Well, just keep talking about that light touching your heart." and like that's just it's perfect because it in one moment acknowledges how cheesy that speech is, and yet also how effective it is, allows it to remain serious, and allows us to laugh about it. And so the way that he blends humor
It allows us
with
to
drama
see them
is
as
amazing.
real people.
As real people. Yeah.
Yeah.
It really is just awesome.
This goes against pretty much everything I've said, but I thought this was an extremely slow moving movie.
Yeah.
And I loved it because you're basically sitting with these characters who are completely lost. And we'll probably talk about this more in the Hero Prophecy, but you know, the idea of the hero is that they have a goal. Well, for most of the movie, there's a goal, but there's no like roadmap to it.
They don't know how to do it.
And so they're just like basically hanging out until something hopefully
and that's why
something
Ron
pops
gets
up.
frustrated and leaves.
Yeah, I do have a little problem with that, but so you're basically sitting with these characters who have no idea what to do, and just watching them sort of stew, and it's interesting, which is
as opposed to the American, where you're just watching him stew, and it's not interesting. It was interesting to watch them.
Sure. So how did you feel about it?
Yeah, you know, I think one thing that's really interesting for me is that you and I have both read the books, so I feel that we came away from it able to actually enjoy it a lot more than you guys. So I'm really interested to hear your perspective because things like introducing lots of characters very quickly, or some of these things that you may consider plot holes or weren't explained well enough. Like, they were just intrinsic knowledge to me. They were
like send-offs to me, I felt a lot of times.
Yeah, like they were there because, you know, the director and the writer knows that there are a lot of people who read the book, so they want to include those things in there.
Yeah.
But I also felt that they told the story really well. This is probably my favorite Harry Potter movie out of the series so far because of the really good pacing, because they were able to flesh out the books and to have the entire story there without feeling like too much was cut out or too much was being crammed in. My biggest complaints with the earlier Harry Potter movies were that they just tried to put way too much in there all at once, and it just didn't have the proper time to stew or to develop. And I really appreciated in this movie and also in the sixth movie as well, where they cut out a huge chunk of the book, that they were able to tell the story, and it felt like it was a better movie as a result, instead of trying to cram all these things in. So I actually really enjoyed it. I can kind of see
where you are seeing some frustrations, and some of the even the idea of a plot.
It took me like 10 minutes to figure out what was going on.
Well, let's talk a little bit. We wanted to talk about the prophetic hero, because Harry Potter, especially in this one, that really starts coming out that he's the chosen one.
Yeah.
But he is not your typical prophetic hero.
No.
In any sense of the word. And I love that about him. I love that he is a, the best way I can think of it is he's a, sounds really mean, but he's a loser.
Yeah.
Without the people around him, without Dumbledore, without Ron, without Hermione, he loses all the time.
Yeah.
He, besides maybe like the Chamber of Secrets, he never accomplishes anything on his own. He needs other people to bolster him. He needs Dumbledore to some way manipulate him. Yeah, because Dumbledore sends him Fox and the Hat. So let's talk a little bit about what the prophetic hero is. Just his definition, the prophetic hero is one that's been prophesied about. They are the chosen one.
Yeah, the chosen one.
The chosen one, a Neo-esque kind of one.
Yeah.
That's
something that
is a character to define the term.
He is, yeah.
Wow.
Neo is probably the simplest version of a prophetic hero. But Harry Potter is very different. Yeah.
My daughter said, I think around the fifth movie, there was, I can't remember what happened, but Harry passes out, of course. It's like, does he ever not pass out? It's like, seriously, when things get bad, Harry drops, and everybody else solves the problem.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like what happens almost every single time. And that's, I mean, like you said, he's kind of a loser. I mean, he doesn't really ever, he tries, and he's not like, he tries to solve the problem, but he never actually does.
And sometimes he has these big moments of success, like he does slay a basilisk. He produces a Patronus to get rid of the Dementors in Azkaban. He's able to stop Voldemort in the fourth one, right, from killing himself. But even that is a matter of the fact that his mother has still given him the power, has given him the charm, he's still protected, and that their wands have the same thing. So a lot of it is orchestrated by other characters.
Yeah.
Which is very different. It's a complete revision of what a prophetic hero should be.
Yeah. Yeah, one thing that I find interesting about Harry Potter, or at least in terms of a prophetic hero, is that usually through the course of the series or the book or whatever, like, they rise up to be the guy. They are the man, they lead the charge, and you know that if that person is still standing, everything is okay.
Yeah.
He's the one guy who cannot die. And I guess they treat him that way in this book, or at least in this movie. They keep saying, like, he's so important. But at the same time, like, he doesn't ever actually rise up and lead the charge. I mean, he's still lost, he's confused, and he really needs to be in this fellowship, right?
Constantly protected.
Yeah, he has to be protected. He has to be in a team, which is a really interesting way of just writing this character and writing the series. And that, up until this point, he's not the guy to lead the charge. He still really needs his teammates there to help him out. So it doesn't feel so much like a prophetic hero yet at this point. It still feels like it's more like a team effort, maybe a prophetic team, They even mention it in the beginning of the movie when they said, why is it whenever there's trouble, it's always like you three at the center of it, and this is a team that has risen up through the course of the series.
Well, I think, and that's what the whole series is about. I mean, is that is it the fifth one where, the one power that Harry has that Voldemort doesn't is friendship.
Friendship.
And that's kind of the idea is that, Harry is the hero of prophecy, but only because he has people that hold him up to that, support him. And
that's one of the reasons why Order of the Phoenix is my favorite one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my favorite too.
That's what?
Order of the Phoenix is my favorite book.
Your favorite book.
I hated the movie. I was so disappointed.
Because there's a strong sense of these people coming together and friendship and loyalty and.
I mean, I feel like Harry Potter as a prophetic hero. Where does he fit? Because I know that you really like movies about heroes. You said before, like, heroes are a big deal for you.
Welcome to our Flickchart segment. If you don't know what Flickchart.com is, it's a website that gives you 2 movies and you pick the one you like better. And the website builds your rankings for you so you can have your own little top 100, top 20 kind of thing.
What we have to do is add a movie that we've seen this week to our Flickchart, so we're going to add Harry Potter and Mythic Powers. And rank it up against them.
We're going to just get 2 random movies up against each other here. Clueless versus 2001.
Okay. I'm going to go out on a limb.
No, you're not. No, you're not. Don't
Clueless.
No. You were saying
2001
no.
Space Odyssey is one of the most boring. I agree.
What? Loosen up?
Loosen up, yeah.
Oh, I thought you said listen up. I'm like, I'm waiting for you to say something.
Yeah, I know. I just want you to sit there and attentively stare.
All right. Well, we have a slice of apple pie there for Nate. I mean, did you want to eat that before the podcast, or you want
That's
to
our
just let us sit?
celebratory pie.
That's